Hi, how you doing today? First of all, I'll get straight to the point. Uh, what I wanted to explain to you is how I execute an all-day sit uh, in the whitetail woods. If you guys have never done it before, it's really hard to conceive the idea of sitting from dark to dark in the whitetail woods. Um, the biggest thing that drives people out of there is boredom. The second biggest thing is cold. You know, they're just not able to sit out there that long. They don't have the right gear for you. Well, anyway, I'll get you started here and I'll tell you how I do it. If you're in that temperature range above 25 degrees and there's not too much wind, it's definitely attainable to do an all-day sit. If you're below 25 degrees, it's pretty tough. You can still do it, I mean, especially if there's no wind. But if there's wind, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to be sitting all day unless you have battery activated items, a heated blind, or you know, some of those things. And anybody that wants to critique what I'm telling you in this video, feel free to do so in the comments below. Because I don't know everything about it. It's just that I've been doing it for a few years and I wanted to let you know what I've learned over the years and what my outfit consists of. Anyway, when I get up in the morning, first thing I do, I'm just like anybody. I like to have coffee and breakfast and all that happy stuff. So I get coffee going and get that rocking and drink a little bit, you know, and using the bathroom and everything. And I don't quit drinking coffee. Some guys I know, they have a cup of coffee and they quit because they, you know, later it makes them go number two when they're out in the tree stand, and I perfectly understand that. It does not do that to me. That's why I don't do that. But anyway, starting, my first layers of stuff are, I got my underwear on, of course, but a thermal bottom and a moisture wicking t-shirt are two things that I start with, along with a double layer sock system. I got the Shield's moisture wicking bottom layer, and then I have wool socks for the top of that. Very important, very important. This is where the cold starts, so you need to get this right. And when you're in a tree stand, the cold will work from the bottom up, usually. I mean, you'll still get cold the rest of you, but I mean, if your feet get cold, it'll just work its way right up. And once your toes, you can't feel them, boom, it'll just run right through you faster than a racetrack. Anyway, after that, I got my jeans that I'm putting on. Above the t-shirt, I usually wear a turtleneck. That keeps heat from escaping out of your neck area. And then above that, I have my, you know, like a hooded sweatshirt. This one's Under Armour, but a camo hooded sweatshirt of sorts. And then after that, my next layer is my safety layer. It's my harness. I put my harness over that layer because, well, you need it. You don't want to fall out of a tree. Falling out of a tree will end your sit in a hurry. So I have that. Also, my next layer of clothing, which I do not put on until I have my stand up and I'm ready to go up the tree, is my final layer, which is a very thick waterproof coverall with a lot of packets and a waterproof hood. This is very important because you also have you know, hand warmer pockets, places for your smartphone. It has the thumb holes, everything like that. Just really warm, one piece. And the reason I like doing it in one piece is so it's just one piece. I don't have to dick around with it. If you have like a heater bodysuit, that'd be the perfect thing to use in place of this. But I don't have a heater bodysuit. And then after that, I have my hat, obviously, which I don't wear this out there usually. I usually have just my camo baseball cap on. This hat will go on as soon as I've kind of got the sweat burned off, whatever. Put this on, stay the same temp. I also have my neck warmer, which is a gator. It comes up here. I don't really put it up here like Rona mask type thing. No, I don't do that. I just wear it down here. And my ears are covered. It's up here. Also, I practice shooting my bow with all this on. That way I can just figure out what's going on with that, because with all this gear on, it's a lot different than shooting in a t-shirt and jeans. For the way out there, sometimes for the work, I have gloves. You know, if I start working or whatever on things, I do not shoot with gloves on, so I don't have gloves on when I'm in the stand, normally. So I have two different sets of gloves. These are for work, these are for thermal. I also keep an extra baklava with me. These are nice if it's really, really cold out. On top of all that, I have a hand warmer muff that goes outside of my coveralls, and you wear it like this. You can put hand warmers in there. I don't usually do that, but you can get them in there and it works pretty nice. It's where I keep my hands. Sometimes I'll even throw my deer call in there and put it in there with my hands to thaw the calls out, like your grunt call or whatever. Or sometimes I'll even put like a deer can in there or whatever. It's really nice to have. Once I get to the tree and I'm setting up my stand for an all-day sit, another safety device I have is my lifeline. One of these lifelines has got a purist knot on it. It goes up and down with you as you go up and down the tree. As I'm putting my tree steps up, before I bring my stand up, I always have this way up there, and I'm always tied off to it. This will save your life because most people fall as they're setting up or tearing down their stand. So that's a very important item. Another way to execute an all-day sit is to not go hungry. Have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with you. Have, I do a lot of trail mix, sometimes apples. I also bring plenty of water. I bring a full thermos of hot coffee, and I charge this. It's very important that you charge this with boiling water before you put your coffee in it in the morning. That way in the afternoon, when you get those afternoon tireds and you want to fall asleep in your stand, you can take a few shots of this and you'll stay awake. You know, some of you guys like energy drinks. I just don't like drinking that much cold stuff if I can help it. My buddy Dave brought up a good point though. These bottles of water, you see how this one's kind of cheap and it crinkles a lot? He uses like a harder bottle, like more expensive ones, and those don't make as much noise, and he thinks that's a lot better, which is a good idea, a good point. I just get this for really cheap, and I'm a cheap guy. As you can already tell, I don't have the latest and greatest of anything. This is from Sportsman's Guide. And also, I forgot to mention my boots. After you get their layers of socks on and stuff like that, in Sportsman's Guide, I got a 2,400 gram set of boots. These things are amazing. I wouldn't necessarily use them as a work boot because they won't last you very long, but these will last for years of hunting because you're basically walking to a tree and going up a stand and dragging a deer out. These are perfect. These are freaking awesome. All day long. I don't use electric socks or anything like that, nothing electronic. You know, I got enough stuff to worry about, so that's what I use, and I've just been loving it. Use them for blowing snow and stuff around here. It's great. Also, to keep you from being bored in the stand, make sure your cell phone's got a good charge in it. I mean, good morale is texting buddies jokes and this, that, and the other thing, and especially if you're with each other on the trip, it's a lot of fun. You got your food, you got your water, you got your warm stuff. I do pack hand warmers. It's very rare that I use them, but I pack them. Also, I have a day pack that's holding all of this. It's got my deer calls in it, got survival gear in it, got binoculars in it. I usually wear binoculars too, just on a strap, around me. I like to see what the, I like to size up deer as they're coming in, see what their rack looks like. You know, if it's a spike or something and I don't feel like shooting it, at least I know it's got spikes and I'm not going to shoot it. Having that is nice. A good day pack, I've had this one forever. I'm about due for a new one. But I mean, it's nice. And I can put my coveralls and everything else in there once I get dressed, my thermos and all that. I also, in my day pack, I carry orange. And the reason I do that is a lot of times, I mean, you could use it anytime. Once you get your deer, you can just throw the orange on and drag the thing through the woods. Sometimes I don't like it when people see me from far away, because they see that I got a deer and they see that I'm dragging it out of the woods and they know it's a good spot. But this one, I usually have this, if I see somebody coming, I'm on public land, I whip it out, and kind of, I don't make noise, but just let them know. Usually they'll just wave and take off. They don't want to be hunting where you're at either. So anyway, I keep that for safety reasons, and if a catastrophe happens, I can whip it out and wave somebody down or whatever. Another thing to keep you from being bored is just having the hunting rules with you. I mean, I know you've probably already read it cover to cover, but if there's a few things you want to touch on, or you forgot, or you got a hunt next week that you're going on a grouse hunt or something and you want to know the rules, whatever it is, whatever it may be, you can go through here. Or if you shoot a deer and you want to properly go through all the right steps or phone numbers or whatever you need to do to register it, it's all right here. It's a good thing to keep in your pack. A lot of people keep them in the truck. I keep it in the pack because sometimes I'm like, shit, did I remember that or whatever? And I'll look through it and it's, cheapers, I got it. So that's a good thing too. What you're packing your sandwiches in and stuff, a lot of people will wrap them in towels and napkins and stuff like that. It's a great idea. These can be loud, but they're not that loud. Hell of a lot quieter than a bag of chips. So, been using these. They work great. I also keep my milkweed husks in these, and then I take them out and then just throw a whole milkweed husk in my pocket. That way, I can just let them discharge throughout the day and see how we're doing on wind. By executing these all-day sits, it's not easy. The hardest time for you is going to be from about 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning until about 2 in the afternoon. Sometimes that back half can be hard too, but the morning, your head's on a swivel and this, that, and the other thing. In the evening, your head's on a swivel. I mean, you're just used to the deer moving at that time. The all-day sit is definitely worth it. I encourage you to try it. And I'll show you in just a second why you should try that. It's just a lot of deer, for whatever reason, and they'll surprise you, come in the middle of the day. It might be a buck, it might be a doe, it might be a fawn, doesn't matter. But these deer that move in the middle of the day really surprise you. You're usually about ready to go to sleep. You're usually having a picnic or lunch or something, and then all of a sudden here they show up. And the exact thing happened to me a couple years ago, a very heavily hunted tract of public land. I ended up seeing this guy at 1:30 in the afternoon, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I can't believe I even pulled it together. I was wearing and using all this stuff that you see here, right now. Sometimes you ask me, where do I pee? I pee right out of the stand. I don't know. Anyway, I want to show you the results of a couple years ago in 2017, the result of my all-day sit. Oh, yeah. This guy right here, he's, I know you're going to ask score right away, but when I first saw him, he was at this angle right here. I couldn't believe the size of that rack. I had never seen anything as big. Like I said, it's just a beautiful, beautiful day. 1:30 in the afternoon, this guy came in. So, yeah, look at that brow tine, huh? Jeez, isn't that something? He's quite the buck. By the way, he grossed 182 and a half. His net score was 172 and 0.8. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy your hunting season, man.